What's up, guys and girls? Verdicks here. We got B-Man and D-Man just talking about a pretty interesting thread that I came across over on Twitter. Had some pretty cool stuff on parenting advice. All three of us are parents, some boys, some girls of all different ages, some a little bit older, some very young, some newborn within the Verdicks realm. So I thought it'd be a good topic to kind of tackle. We can kind of give our spin on what we've experienced and kind of go through these and maybe help somebody out along the way if they're kind of in a speed bump. Because it seems like with parenting, you just get over one set of obstacles, and not only does one, but like 14 new ones and personality traits seem to present themselves, and you're just like, oh, okay, great. So without further ado, we'll start with like number one here. It says, let kids do stuff on their own. It seems basic, but it does take a long time and patience to let them struggle with basic tasks and do it for themselves. That is how they learn. I can personally attest to this. I feel like there's like a certain age where your kid will say like, I can do it. And they really can't do it, but it's great that they're trying to do it. Like my little girl the other day was like, I can do it. I can tie my shoes. She can't tie her shoes. She's 3 years old. She's never tied her shoes, but she said she could do it. Right. So like, that's a great teaching experience. Okay. You want to watch how I do it, and then maybe you can start to learn and stuff like that. But like, one of our buddies, Mike, talked about like, I think it was like, you can pull your panties up after you're done, go to the potty on your own, or you can brush your own teeth. Or even simple stuff like once you start to get toys where like the square has to go in the square and the circle has to go in the circle, like let them do it, let them learn. It's our natural instinct to kind of want to guide them, but that's also kind of showing them. So I don't know what you guys think. I think that's like a really big one in terms of development.
Go ahead, Danny.
No, I agree. Yeah. Someone had actually mentioned something like that at work today, kind of, watch from a safe distance. Is the way the guy put it. Let them kind of figure it out, do things on their own. Even kind of, the risky things. My kids are a little bit older. Like working with, cooking. Stuff like that, allowing them to do things like that. It's just things they incrementally just start working towards, cutting with knives. But yeah, you keep a watchful eye, but you let them do it and learn on their way, because it's the only way you develop to become a well-rounded individual.
I like that. And the only thing I would add is why we do it. It's not necessarily that I don't want my children to learn. It's that I'm impatient, or we're rushing to get out the door to get off to school. And so those fragile seconds where they're struggling to put their gloves on, and I know I could do it much quicker and we could be on the road. That's why parents do it in most of these cases. So yeah, it's really taking that pause, be patient, building in the extra time and letting them do it. But it's one I really struggle with. There's a lot of things my boys who are 6 are still letting me do for them quite readily. They're fully capable. It's just easier if I do it. And we're cutting them one by one, but it's been a long road.
Yeah, because how else do they learn to overcome adversity, right? Like if they got to get frustrated, they got to realize it's going to take time, it's going to take practice. Like it's a great life lesson that and they're not always going to get it on the first time, and they may not always be able to do it. Like those are all great lessons that they only learn if you kind of, the hardest thing as a parent, I think, to just kind of let them go.
Most definitely.
All right, number 2, include kids with what you do. It seems basic, but it's also neglected. Kids want to hang out with you when they're doing stuff. Let them all do it. Running errands is fun for them. A 25-cent lollipop at Home Depot when you buy plants is like gold to little kids. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think it's totally true.
Yeah, I'll take the lead on this one. If one of the good things that came out of the pandemic is that I was with my kids the entire time, and it's very true. They just want to be doing what you're doing, and it helps them learn in creative ways. I had a couple old laptops that I would let them chip away at and just punch numbers and letters in the screen. It didn't have to make any sense. They were working. I was working. Mine following me around like old dogs, basically. Where I go, they go, and vice versa. So this works out really great. And it really is just about spending time with you. They don't care what you're doing. They don't care if it's getting your hair cut, mopping the floor. They don't see those things as a drag yet, because society hasn't put it in them yet that it's a drag. For
Right.
them, it's an activity, it's something new, and they're hanging out with the person they love the most.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine are kind of now hitting that cusp of to where they don't want to go and do things with you. So, we're seeing a little bit of that. Yeah. Hey, I'm going to the store. You want to come? Nah, but they're still not really at an age where I can leave them alone. So they have to come anyway, and I drag them begrudgingly. So, but there are definitely the times when they do, like, oh yeah, hey, can I do that? Can you want to do this? Yeah, absolutely. Take full advantage of it. I'm guilty of not doing it enough. But absolutely. It's important time. They want to learn more about what you're doing, even if it is just a simple chore. They want to see what you do, how the process works, because they're going to mold their lives just after what they see you do. Yeah. They're going to treat people at the store the way you treat them. So it's also a learning experience as much of it is just bonding.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's nothing cooler to me than like watching my little girl want to do the things that I've done, right? So like if me and my dad are doing a project around the house, all of a sudden she's got her hammer and her screwdrivers and stuff like that, right? And like last time we went to Home Depot, I saw these or it was Lowe's, I think, these little kid kits where you could build a monster truck with your own wood, and it comes with like nails or like a birdhouse, and it's like a pre-cut fab, like MDF slab. And so I got one of them, and so we got to make our own project. Or like when we're vacuuming, and all of a sudden she grabs her vacuum, and the next thing you know, like when she was done with her toys, she's like, time to like clean up and vacuum. So she'll put everything away and then like vacuum the carpet with her toy vacuum. Or if I'm wiping down my car, she has a Jeep that she rides in, and she'll grab, can I have a wet rag and wipe my car down? That stuff is awesome. Like, not only is it cool to see your kid like develop like that, but it's also a great reminder of just how influential you are in their lives and how important it is to always kind of be that beacon of like, you're like the lighthouse in their life, man. Like you've got to point them in the direction that you want them to go. So having them included and seeing you doing all the things that life entails is like another leg up.
Yep.
So yeah, 100% agree on that one. Let's see here. Create the culture. If you're active, kids will be active. If your kids if you exercise, the kids won't see exercise as exercise. If what we do is go to parks and run races, they see you with kettlebells, they'll want some of your own. So again, just kind of like we were talking about, right, Dennis?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's another one of those things I feel I've got to get better at, promoting more of the active, but it is that culture. It's also the culture as far as activity, but also behavior and the way you act. Yep. Come home from a bad day, I believe that's on the list somewhere. It's all kind of tied in. Same for me with that. You create it, you foster it. They're going to feed off of you when it comes down to that.
Yeah, you can always tell, like when you're at the playground and you've got that one kid, and you're like, and then you look over at the parent, and you're like, I can see it. They're just a product of the environment, right? Like, if like this advice says, like, if you are constantly running around and eating healthy and healthy habits around the house and kind to your neighbors and kind to people that you don't know and law abiding, and you don't talk ill will upon other people, you always talk about goodness and positivity and recognize negativity, but try to emphasize the good and push away the negativity. Those are all the things that your kid's going to pick up. If you're just a miserable old man that comes home from work and sits on the couch and does nothing, that's what your kid is going to think like is acceptable. Like that's when they're going to be on the pad 3-4 hours a day instead of being outside and, being active and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I found it's always best to just be truthful with my kids. So I take almost a radical truth. I answer all their questions honestly and openly, and it allows them to explore their own creativity and accept the world for as it is. So our culture around here is that if you have a question, we look it up and we get the answer. And that's a skill that you'll have for the rest of your life. And then the other thing that shines the most is when we're in public and when we're, around town or walking the dog, they say hello to every single person.
That's great.
Hello, hi, hello. And that's because I'm a friendly person, and that has rubbed off on them. but so much so that they are just going up and down the street, basically knocking on people's doors to say hello. But it's, people like friendly people. So
Heck yeah.
no problems on my end, but it does start from the top and trickles down in this case.
Who doesn't want to have a little cute kid come up to them and be like, "What up?"
Yeah.
Like that's
course.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go and talk to that kid and be like, "What's up, little dude? How's your day going?"
Yes.
Like, yeah, all right.
That's right.
All right. And last one for tonight. Let's see here. Kind of on the same vibe. They feel your mood. So mind your mood. Your mood. If you're yelling at someone on the phone, put it down. Your kid thinks you're mad at them. You really got to be mindful of stuff. Know when to switch it off and on, or explain to them what's up. Kind of like you were talking about, Brian, like being honest.
Yeah, they definitely are watching and listening, even though you don't think they are. And they do assess your attitudes towards other things, external factors, as also applying to them. And you know what? In a lot of cases, it does. I know that when I'm frustrated with things at work, I'm more short-tempered around activities at home. And so definitely try to be mindful of your mood. You don't have to pretend that everything's okay. You can just simply explain to them that you're having a rough day, the same way that they have rough days sometimes, and that it's not about them and it was something else that was affecting the situation. But yeah, just be careful, because they are always listening. They are always mirroring, and try to be more positive than you are negative.
Yeah, it's a learning experience in that sense too, right? Like, to talk to them about, it's not always going to be the best of days. You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. What's important is, how you bounce back from them and not taking it out on other individuals and stuff like that, right?
Yep.
Like,
yeah, I think that's the biggest part of it. You're entitled to a bad day, but don't make it feel like it's their fault. Save it for where it's guided. It's normally misguided. They'll bear the brunt of it. No need to do that. Bring it in, or bring it home. They're just kids.
Yeah, I think this one it's really important to have this one in order to enact this one. I think one of the most important parts would probably be, your relationship with your partner. Because if you're having a bad day, you need to be able to have a strong partner where you can go to them and be like, "Hey, look, I just need 5 minutes because I just need to take a quick walk, or I need to refresh." Like her asking me why a million times, I'm gonna snap, and it's not her fault, and that's not fair to her. So if you can just give me 5 minutes to walk away, to refresh, I'll come back better. And it's important to realize that sort of stuff. Have a strong partner that backs you up in those sort of settings, and then of course you have to do the same with them. In the grand scheme of things, kids are so innocent. They're so innocent. They rely on you for everything. So always be cognizant of that, man. Like, to just have some a-hole at work ruin your day and then you come home and take that out on your kid, that blows. That blows. So anything else to add, guys?
No, I think that was a good first session. We'll come back with another part, maybe another one after that, but check back in for more.
Until then, shields up.